everybody, and thanks for joining me. My name is Riley Satrowski, and I am the Health Service Manager here at Three Mountains Regional Hospital. I'm here to talk about the code of ethics that we hold as a company and as a hospital. So, to start out, we're going to go over physician activities. This is going to go over, the fact that we are a medical profession and we hold ethical standards very high for us, because we need to benefit our patients, but we also need to have it in our facility when caring for our patients. We as healthcare employees, we must always do things that show that we are here to help you and we show that we have a standard of ethics and that we must follow them. And then we'll go into patient relations. So happy patients are more likely to be loyal to our practice. We want to make sure that they're getting the best care and letting other people know that they loved coming to our hospital and that they really respected us. And also, there's little doubt that if we have good relationships with our patients, that they're going to want to leave. So we want to make sure that we treat them and no doubt have the ethical standards that we hold. Of course, we can't cater to our patients with every wish. If they're here looking for, Percocet or, more pain medications, and they want tests done that aren't necessary and stuff like that, we need to make sure, that we have that balance between what's ethical and what's wrong. And so definitely, we want to make sure our patients are satisfied with the care that we have, but we also need to have that boundary with them. Next, billing for service. So it's kind of funky now with the advancements in technology. We need to only bill for what we are doing for our patients. We can't, say that we're ordering, say, blood labs, but really we're just running urine. And we can't be doing these things because the patient will realize when they get their bill, be like, oh no, they didn't do this for me. And so we just need to be ethical when, billing our patients and making sure that we have the right codes and that we're not accidentally charging them for more than what they are having done. And then we are going to look at politics. So, as we all know, politics are not good to be in any type of workplace. And definitely with our patients coming in and saying, like, oh, are you voting for this person or this person? We need to be able to tell them that we don't discuss politics here because it's just unethical to have a disagreement because of politics, just because it's such a touchy subject for patients and also for providers. Like, say we're voting for one person and the other's not. Obviously we want to tell them what we think and why we're voting that person, but we also need to just understand that that's not professional and that's not ethical, and we should not have a disagreement because of who we are or who we are not voting for. And also, just, if people are asking you, oh, where do you go to vote, or, and stuff like that, well, that's not typically something that we discuss at work and that we try and keep that out of our facility, okay? And then also just respecting the time. This goes for our coworkers and also, also for our patients, because as a company, we need to run on time, making sure that a patient isn't waiting for 30 minutes in a room or waiting more than 10 minutes in the waiting room, sticking to the schedule that we have, because nobody likes to feel like their time is wasted. And also, we do need to set the limits for our patients. We need to let them know that, we're willing to wait 15 minutes after your appointment time to see you, but after that 15-minute point, we're going to have to ask you to reschedule, and that's just respecting our time and their time. And I know that, sometimes with patients, it gets kind of gray area. Like, I know that they need this help, but also, understanding that we can't give special treatment to one patient and then expect someone else to, understand. And then looking at conflict of interest. So with this, there's always going to be conflicts within a facility, and that's just going to happen. But having conflicts with patients, that's kind of unethical, just because, well, once we create a conflict with one patient, well, they're going to go and tell their friends about how the conflict came about and how this created an issue for their care. And as soon as you have a disagreement with one patient, they can go and they can talk to their friends and stuff, and this will create a domino effect. And portraying that we don't respect our patients and we started this argument with them. Um, so it's best to just agree to not disagree with any type of conflict that is brought up. Um, and we as a company should focus on not creating conflicts with our patients just because of that domino effect and just ensuring that we are not, crossing that line with our patients. And then the biggest goal for communication with our patients is to not make anyone feel uncomfortable. Although, like, along with when a patient is asking questions or making statements to you as an employee, it is important for us to remember that as an employee, we need to speak up when we feel uncomfortable. And same with the patients, communication with them, it should always remain professional. It should always be respectful. Sorry. And we do understand that people have bad days. We do. And we understand that patients might also, lash back at us because they had a bad morning or things just weren't going right for them. But it is also okay to ask the patient to, like maybe just calm down. I mean, don't use those words, but also just, reflect on how they're talking with us because, well, we don't want to feel uncomfortable and we also don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, and also just keeping down the gossip and stuff about patients. People can hear what others are saying and it will end up coming back to you. And so, really, just keeping our communication very professional when at work. And that can really help, like, tone down having unethical situations. And next, we have patient and physician social media contact. So, this is very important nowadays with the technology and having, social media at the touch of our fingers. It is, we really don't want to be friending our patients and or even accepting messages from them outside of work. We got to keep that very professional. And in my own experience, I have had a patient come in and say, I found you on Facebook. How come you did not accept my friend request? Well, and I just had to explain to them, we have the standards that we're held to that we are not allowed to have that relationship outside of the workplace. I see you as a patient, and it's just not appropriate for us to have that social media contact, and it's just important to set those boundaries with patients. And also, making sure that your pages are private and making sure, if you need to use a substitute name to ensure that your patients aren't finding you, that is acceptable. And next, we have patient and physician privacy. So this alone, we do have our own set of laws. We have the HIPAA laws, and we have that to be in place to provide the patient security with their health information and stuff to make sure that it's safe. But also, we do understand that although after a long day of work, it may be very hard to not talk about what happened at work and not to talk about your patients. But this is very important in regards to the patient's privacy. No one wants to know, that you're talking about their own personal diseases or problems or anything with any other person. And also, just ensuring their privacy. As a healthcare employee, we need to remember that it is not ethical to discuss patient information with any person who is not a part of the patient's care team. There's no need for that. And then lastly, we're just going to talk about the workspace. Oh, there we go. And, this is often not seen as unethical, but, anyone can hear what's going on at the workspace. So just making sure that we're keeping our conversations very professional at the workplace and also, keeping it very neat. It's just unethical to take over someone else's area because you have so much stuff on your desk. Keeping it clean and keeping it professional in your workspace is going to be number one, especially if you have an open clinic layout, just because, anyone can see, anyone can hear, and just making sure that we're keeping everything to ourselves. Um, and lastly, we have the references that were used for this video. Just to kind of circle back, remembering that ethics are everywhere, and especially in a healthcare profession, we need to make sure that we're keeping things to ourselves and keeping things professional. Seeing some of these things, it kind of opens your eyes to the fact that social media is everywhere and anyone can find you on there. So keeping even everything that's outside of your workplace professional, um, that's going to really help us as a facility. And also, making sure that we're respecting people's times and keeping politics out of the workplace is always the best. Having an ethical workspace is going to create, just a better work environment and better care for our patients. So just ensuring that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or your managers to go over anything that you might have missed or that you have questions about, okay? And thank you, and please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.